Hello, everybody, and welcome to English 120 Critical Writing. My name is Professor Sean Griffin, and I'll be the instructor for this class. You can call me any sort of combination of my name, from Professor Griffin to Sean, or some sort of whatever, what have you. If you come up with a good nickname, let me know. I just wanted to use this video space right now to go over our syllabus. So if you see me kind of looking off in this direction, it's because I have a second screen with the syllabus up on it. So in terms of course description and student learning outcomes and methods of instruction, I would like to kind of boil that all down to the fact that this class is all about achieving a level of media literacy and critical thinking, while also constructing your own communication and writing. And so in that, we are going to write several papers over the course of the class. We're also going to do a lot of reading. So please keep that in mind, So moving on, methods of instruction also is like we have here. We have lecture videos. I'll post some review videos as well. We're going to have assignments where you're going to post, as well as discussion posts where you'll be able to interact with each other's posts. So as far as texts for this class go, we have no required textbooks. So ultimately, your book fees for this class are nil. Just because I find most textbooks are kind of highway robbery. So any of the texts that I've listed in the syllabus, you do not have to get. If you like what we read from it, because we'll be reading selections of it, if you happen to like what we read, feel free to get the book. However, everything that is going to be posted to our classes page, I'll provide as far as the readings go. And as far as assessment for like what kind of grade you can expect to get for this class, I work like many other PACE professors. I don't want to make it sound like I'm truly 100% original in this, but I work on a labor-based grading system. The whole idea being that rather than being like grading you off of my own subjectivity, or basically my opinion, which the continuous joke is that I'm incredibly opinionated. And frankly, I'm rather shocked when I meet people who don't have opinions. That is to say, what you're being graded on is how much labor or work you put into the assignments. Now, keep in mind, if you submit like a 20-page paper that's not on the assignment that I required, that's obviously not going to do very well. And it's not to say that with, say, our research paper, it's not telling you, oh, just write more. More doesn't always mean like showing me more labor or more work. So keep these things in mind. As far as the grading scale, you'll be able to find that on PACE's website. Basically, 59% and below is a 0. And moving up from there, you have like D, D+, C-, and so on. All the way up to, I believe, A- to A is anywhere from a 91, I believe, to 100. So what I see as like a C, like the grade C, the letter C, is like you've achieved just what I'm asking for, right? The C is average in my mind, and so keep that in mind. So if you are set, and I think that's reasonable, because if you think a C is approximately like a 75, somewhere in there. So if you consider like 3 out of 4 times you're correct, that's pretty good. So keep keep that in mind. Like this idea of like, where you'll fall on this grade scale. Um, those are the kind of that's the mindset that I'm kind of approaching this with. Okay? If you have any questions about that, always feel free to ask. As far as the course load goes, I'm always a big fan of class participation. I love when people interact with the class, when the students interact with me as well, like have conversations. I think the that's so much of where education comes from, is conversing and experiencing, like socializing. So in that, because this is an asynchronous class, because this is completely online, feel free to um, use the discussion space and replying as part of that participation. Participation could also look like emailing me, texting me. I do have office hours, so as I mentioned, several of the places as well as the top of the syllabus, I have an office. It's a shared office, so it does. I know me saying I have an office sounds super swanky, but it's not. I have a shared office on the 7th floor of 15 Beekman at Pace. If you hear whistling, that's my radiator right behind me. So if you, I'm usually in the hours that I posted, Mondays and Wednesdays from 12 o'clock to 3:30. I'm also there most of the day Tuesday, like 10 to 3:30 as well. Um, so if you even just want to stop by, feel free. I'm always happy to have a bit of a conversation, have a bit of a chin wag, and or you can email me and set up a Zoom call if being on campus isn't more of your thing. The whole idea of office hours is that nobody should really be in the dark in this class. If you have questions, always feel free to ask them. In no way do I want in no way do I want anybody to walk away from these lectures to be looking at our course modules and wondering what the hell is going on. Not what I want at all. That's kind of the opposite of this whole experience, or at least the goal of this experience. So if you have a question, always feel free to ask it. And when you ask a question, or when you come and talk to me, or any number of these things, responding on discussion posts, that counts as participation. That's what that overall participation grade looks like. We have some response papers that will be like 1 to 2 page, very opinion based responses, really just getting your reflection on either something we read or just the course in general. Our 3 main writing assignments is we have a definition paper, an argument paper, and a research paper, not in that order. Those papers, those are kind of the cornerstone of the class, because so much of what we're learning will be shown in those papers, right? So those papers are key assessment points for me, right? We have weekly assignments, and like if I ever get concerned about where we're at as a class, I might have a quiz. I've been known to throw a quiz or two in my time. As far as this attendance goes, because this class is asynchronous, things like, chiming in the discussions when it's due, so for example, the discussion posted today about what is an argument, it's due next week. If you log in and participate in that discussion in that week, that's attendance. So these are just various ways in which, with it being asynchronous, you have some form of accountability, I suppose. And that accountability is in, like assessment and attendance and participation. I have an extension policy that I didn't explain in the syllabus itself, but my extension policy Is that where, if you have an assignment due and you ask me for an extension 100% of the time, which is all of the time, I will say yes and grant you an extension, and that extension will usually be 1 week. So if, for example, you have a paper due next Friday, and you know yourself, you're behind on things, maybe work has piled up, you can just ask me without giving a reason, just for an extension. Just say, hey, professor, I could really use an extension on, say, the definition paper. Fab. You may have an extension. It will be due next week or the following week. The same goes for any of our assignments. Okay, so you know there's no reason that you should be getting marked late on your assignments. All you have to do is just communicate with me. All right, communicating is an essential skill for every part of our lives. So what better way to learn it and display it than in class? We're super low stakes, but at the same time, there is consequence. For example, my assignments policy. Because it is just like you can upload an assignment at any time, I do have where you will lose 5 points per assignment or 5 points per day each assignment is late, right? So not a big deal. So it really adds up. So please communicate with me, and because you know yourself better than I know you. So tell me, if you need an extension. And if it is something where you feel like it would help for me to know why you need an extension, by all means, you can talk to me. You can let me know, like, hey, I actually have a lot of work due. This week when our research papers due, right? So our research paper is like our biggest paper in this course. I try to have it due at a time when it's not very popular for some of the other classes. It's after midterms, it's before finals. It's hopefully a lull in your coursework. However, shockingly, I am not perfect. So what I will say is, if you know you have a lot of work going on, you can tell me, and you can just say, hey, I have a lot of things due at this time. That also lets me know, like, oh, people in this who are also in this major or also in this class might have this difficulty, and that could be a lot of people in our class. It helps me know. So yeah, always feel free to you're always welcome to tell me why you need an extension or where you're at in class as far as the workload, but you don't have to. There's no requirement. But keep in mind, I can be a better professor by being informed. And if you feel like there's something that's really impacting you and your experience in this class, always speak up. Because my goal is to get to know each of you and get to know your needs as a student. And in this sort of online sphere of nothingness and everything, that's a little more difficult because we're not like running into each other every day. So we'll just kind of figure that out as we go. Academic integrity and ethics. Don't plagiarize. We're going to talk about what plagiarizing is, but by and large, plagiarizing is just saying somebody else's ideas or words are your own. And you could do that by any number of things, by taking a quote from somebody else and basically attributing it to yourself, or taking an idea or an argument that somebody else had made and saying, yeah, that was me. Another way that you can do that is by using AI. Keep in mind, I don't want to seem like a Luddite by being like, ooh, AI is naughty. But no, it's ultimately, there are ways that AI can help us. It's a tool like any other. So maybe you can have AI. I don't know. I'm sure AI could do something for you. Maybe if you need AI to write you something to cheer you up, it can do that. But by and large, my hope is that you won't need AI because you'll be just giving me your thoughts and words in general. I would much rather your imperfect thoughts than AI's weird sort of thoughts. I don't think AI has thoughts. And really, what AI is it just like munches on the words of other people and then just barfs them up. It's really not pleasant. But it is also a form of plagiarizing. So please don't do that. Um, yeah, like I said, if you're struggling with the class to the point where you feel like you need to use AI, I'd much rather you talk to me and we figure something out. Accommodations for students with disabilities, whether documented or undocumented. Now, we all have something going on. So, what I recommend is that and I have this in our introduction assignment as well. If you know that there's a certain way that works for you in terms of learning, please let me know. I'll try to close caption my videos, and I'm sorry if this one is closed captioned or not. I've yet to figure out the technology for that, and I will try to do that. This class was originally supposed to be in person or some sort of hybrid, so I got a random text saying, "Hey, can we make it async?" And obviously, I said yes. I'm nothing if not a pitiful people pleaser, but I do my best. So I will do my best as well to help any of you who have accommodations or need accommodations, whether documented or undocumented. So anything you need from me, just let me know. Um, but right now, I'll probably just post this video just so that it's posted, and if I can go back and add closed captions, I will. Other requirements, please, in the discussion or the assignments, there's no need for hate speech or slurs of any kind, and it's just not tolerated. Just respect each other, especially in the discussions. And while, like, obviously, like, if we're talking about hate speech in, say, an essay or a paper, and we're referring to it in a primary source or some kind of document, that's another thing. However, I ask that if we are going to discuss hate speech, that we are very considerate about it. All right, and lastly, the last part of the syllabus is our course calendar. The course calendar is an imperfect being, and it is essentially my best guess at the map of this course, this roadmap of our course. I am on occasion wrong, and so I might think, hey, this is a great plan thus far, and I could be wrong. So feel free to use the course calendar as some sort of guide. However, always defer to me when it comes to the assignments. So if I post an assignment, I'm like, hey, we're doing this, that's what we'll be doing. So you'll also notice toward the end of the course calendar, I put a couple things as TBD, as in to be discussed. And that's because I'm not sure if we might have to move things around, and I wanted to give myself some space in case I need to push things back and review something else. But yeah. So yeah. And if you've gotten this far into the video, please email me at sgriffin3. You'll see my email at the top of the syllabus. Email me a picture if you have a dog or a cat or any kind of pet. Please email me a picture of your pet. If not, just go to Google Images, send me a picture of a dog that you think is cute, or um, I love otters. Fucking love otters. I think they are adorable as hell. River otters, sea otters. I do not discriminate when it comes to otters. I think that like their little hands, they're so cute. They hold hands. Everything about them is just adorable. So if you want to email me that, I will definitely give you an extra, you know, 0.5 points on your lowest scoring assignment at the end of the semester. So yeah, if you got this far, please do that. It would also, at the very least, it'll cheer me up. And hopefully, in searching for the photos of your pets or just on Google searching for cute animals, it'll cheer you up too. So I hope you have a good night. And please, 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 on our assignments, I have where you introduce yourself. Introduce yourself to me. I want to get to know you and who you are and your needs as a student. Like, what are things that you are interested in terms of like topics that are really important to you or hobbies that are really important to you. I'm a huge reader. Well, obviously, this is actually a real background and not a green screen. Although it looks like a green screen because it's actually further away than I realized, and I couldn't touch the books to prove that it was real. But, anyways, so yeah, love a gab. I'm a good talker. But so introduce yourself. Tell me a little bit about you in terms of like what you're interested in, um, any passion projects you're working on, things like that. I'm a big reader. I write poetry. Um, I also write comic books and plays and all that such. Right now, I also teach a writing for comic books class. Um, so I write all sorts. I love music as well, and have a pretty like I have a great book collection. I also have a lovely vinyl collection that I'm working on. So yeah, those are some things. I also have two dogs, and they're fabulous, and I love them. And then also, if you could, uh, let me know anything that helps you learn. I'm not the best at learning um, in certain environments, and I know what works for me learning wise because I've been around me for a while. So I could tell you what works for me as a learner, um, but I also hope to learn what works well for you as a learner. But yeah, so that's it for me right now. Sorry this video went a little long, but yeah, have a lovely weekend, and don't forget to post on these discussions as well.